video. I wasn't too sure where I was going to pop this, but I had to think about it and I figured why not put it here. So you are watching my observation/reflection video on the last couple of months, I reckon, and I thought that I would share it because it'll give you a little bit of an insight into some business, but also some stuff that's been unfolding and what's to come. And the reason I'm doing it is because last night I was sitting there and I was having to think about some things, and I watched a YouTube video which was another lady, I've never met her before, but she was doing an energy update for September, and I think she did it like 17th or the 18th of September, and she was talking about the end, like coming up to when Saturn goes direct again, right? So for some of you guys this won't make much sense, but bear with me. So, and some of you are in Witchy Views or in the Witchy Catch Up, so you know. But Saturn's been in retrograde for a while, right? Like it's a large planet, so it moves slowly. This is my understanding of it. Large planet moves slowly, therefore it's in either direct or retrograde for quite a long period of the year. Same with Jupiter, and same with, and because Pluto is so far away, I believe it's the same with Pluto too, even though it's one of the tiniest planets. But anyway, as a kid, I was really fascinated by the planets, and I still are fascinated by the solar system and just the galaxy, that side of things. I'm one of those ones that watches movies like The Dark Crystal or Tomb Raider and really wants that machine that's oscillating in the background with all of the planets moving around and things. So henceforth why I really enjoy this side of things and learning about it. But what I wanted to say, right, was Saturn was in retrograde. When Saturn went in retrograde was when business sort of dried up, right? So it was, if you reading out of the Crystal Reflections journal or diary, if you relied on phone calls or other people for your income or your work, you found that the phone would ring less and that there probably would be less clients come in the door. What I found was that yes, it did do that, but it also gave me time to really be very clear on who I am and what I deliver. And this sort of links in with a couple of the other planets too, and the asteroids that were floating around in the opposite direction at the same time. It also showed for me intentions of others and what my values are and what I really want to be associated with going forward, you know, that sort of stuff. So really Saturn, Neptune and Pluto all being in retrograde sort of, I don't know, kick me in the ass a little bit and really helped me to define that and to be very clear about that. Now, when I first started in a leadership role, and this was way back when, I've got to think about this, when did I start work? So this would have been probably 98, maybe. Might even be older. Around 98, 99 anyway. I got given a book by a lady and it was called The Heart of a Leader. And the star sign that I am always talks about leadership and things like that. But I am someone who does lead with heart. I have quite a big heart, even though I can be quite an ass sometimes, or maybe a bit ferocious with certain things. I generally will give a lot of opportunity and chance, and then that's it, because the heart speaks. So what I have found is that I've spent all this time, probably the last 6 years, going around in circles, trying to be someone else, trying to fit in with other things, only to find that with this massive planetary crash that we had, that I'm sort of back to where I was before I even began, if that makes any sense at all. Anyway, Saturn coming out of retrograde means now that Saturn is direct. So Saturn going direct meant that you really needed to sort out relationships and things like that, and it was an opportunity for us to learn really hard and really fast past life lessons, and if we didn't pick them up or realise the lesson and work through it, then pretty much fucked it and it's going to repeat itself. So happily for me, I can see now why that stuff happened. The other thing that I did this morning was I watched this really short 2-minute video by a scientist on the 10 dimensions. It was 10 dimensions in less than 2 minutes, and it just explains it in a format that my brain thought was great because it's linear and it's mathematics. And what he said was basically what I got out of it was that the fifth dimension, and then the eighth dimension, and then the 10th dimension, sorry, the fifth dimension, the ninth dimension, and really in some ways the 10th dimension, they're all really similar in that our first dimension is just the dot, there's no dimension to it. Dimension is shape and things, outside of yourself. The second dimension is linear, it's the line. The third dimension is like 3D, it's like we can physically see things. We're printing in 3D now, all that sort of stuff. So the third dimension is that. It gives it shape, it gives it a bit more depth, it's three-dimensional. Then the fourth dimension adds all of those 3D dimensions together and puts it into a line. Now, can you see similarity there? Second dimension line, fourth dimension line. But it's a different depth to the dimension. Then what happens is the fifth dimension is your way of jumping from one linear section to another linear section, and that gives you that fifth dimension stuff. So it's jumping from one 3D to another 3D to another 3D. That's the first lot, right? And then it just the pattern just repeats itself. So with Saturn going retrograde and with the other planetary stuff, we are relearning stuff, but it feels different, or it might feel more intense, or maybe you are much more aware of the lesson this time around than what you were the first time that you experienced it. So if you feel like you're on a personal growth journey, some of you are and some of you aren't, and you're wondering why the bloody hell you've got to go through this again, that's what it is. It's just being put into a different dimension, or it's being posed with extra depth for you to really nail it. So that's a bit of a side thing there. Anyway, at the same time as Saturn was in there doing its thing, we also have, and this one flips tomorrow, it's Psyche retrograde, which is the soul's journey to fulfillment. So Psyche flicks back in tomorrow, and that's been in retrograde. Well, Saturn's been in retrograde, and Neptune's still in retrograde, and Pluto's still in retrograde. But all that sort of stuff is really helping you to gel yourself, be you, be who you really are meant to be, really define who you are, get rid of any toxic relationships, habits, or environments, really shift things up a bit, have a really hard look at what's happening. Pluto doesn't go direct for another week or so, I think it is. I think it's in October. I hope that you're enjoying your sunshine anyway, wherever you are today, because it's really nice here. Yeah, so Pluto doesn't go direct until the 3rd of October, which is the Thursday before the long weekend. So yeah, you've still got a little bit of time to really nail any lessons. You've still got a little bit of time to really sort out toxic relationships or things that are not good for you as a person. But just bear in mind that if you are starting to experience really good stuff, you're meant to have it. Don't second guess it or think, when's the catch? Where's the catch? What's going to come next? Because we've done all this really hard work over the last 6 months or 4 months, and then now it's all coming to fruition. So you've still got another week or so to get in there and do some fine tuning on your own self development, which then flows into your business. It's also why you're starting to see a lot of changes in posts from people that maybe you follow them on Facebook and stuff like that. They're becoming clearer. They have realized that perhaps what they were doing before wasn't who they really were. So they're starting to get out there. And then there's some that just aren't awake at all and have no fucking idea what they're doing still, and are just sort of fumbling along and are actually resisting the change, and will probably fall on their ass, but that's okay, because that's why you guys learn and develop and grow and do all this sort of stuff, so you can help those who are behind us a little bit maybe and need to pick up a bit. But yeah, have an awesome weekend. Yesterday was International Peace Day. If you didn't realise that, then make today International Peace Day. Meditate, think about what you can do to make a difference in the world. How can you contribute to the well-being of the planet and really look after everything that's around you? And how can you be the best version of yourself? Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that. Catch you later.